Now at 6, the nationwide movement expected to draw thousands to the Rose City.
Finally, everyone rising up together to say, we've had enough.
Plus, the budget shortfall forcing major cuts. We're talking hundreds of jobs in one of Clark County's biggest school districts.
It's making us all feel very unsettled.
Then, the Mount Hood Resort forced to close early after a brutal ski season. And later,
how a catchy 80s hit is now helping cancer patients heal. But first to our top story, with coast to coast and across the country, people expected to take to the streets on Saturday, including here in the Rose City in the latest round of No Kings demonstrations against President Trump and his policies. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Malko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Let's get right to our John Adams live on the Portland waterfront. John, you spoke with organizers and police today. What did you learn?
Yeah, Christine and David, we know at least 8 protests across the city of Portland tomorrow will happen right here at Waterfront Park near the Battleship Oregon Memorial. Portland police say they're going to have units out across the city, including at this protest. People across the Portland metro came out in huge numbers in 2025 to attend No Kings protests, meant to push back on the policies and actions of the Trump administration. For the first time since October, another round of rallies are scheduled for Saturday.
The whole country, thousands of No Kings events. We're finally everyone rising up together to say, we've had enough.
Protests are expected at multiple locations in Portland. Portland police tell us their incident management team will be monitoring the events. They plan to have dialogue liaison officers, a rapid response team, mobile field forces, and an air support unit spread out across the city. A large event is also being held in Beaverton. Event organizers expect close to 10,000 people to meet here at Beaverton City Park on Saturday afternoon. They say the event here has grown since last year. Organizer Lisa Stiller tells us last year's rallies in Beaverton grew from 4,000 participants to 8,000. But she expects more people will be in attendance Saturday, raising concerns about the war in Iran, tariffs, and other actions by the administration.
Talk to people. We really encourage people to talk to people. They're all going to be really friendly. Come for the music and just have a good time.
A White House spokesperson released a statement in advance of the protest saying, "The only people who care about these Trump derangement therapy sessions are the reporters who are paid to cover them." And we have much more information on the rallies that we have heard of thus far available on our website, kgw.com. Just click on this story to learn more. David, Christine, back to you.
Yeah, at the last protest across the country, organizers said 5 million people attended. John Adams reporting live now from downtown Portland. Thank you, John.
Well, let's take you to Seattle, where police are also preparing for a massive turnout, forecasting between 75 and 100,000 people. There's also a big march plan there, and just like in Portland, the big focus is safety. Seattle PD saying it'll be hands off unless they need to step in. Overall, they say they're expecting a large but peaceful day of demonstrations. Of course, stay with KGW for coverage of the No Kings protest this weekend. Look for the latest anytime on the KGW app at kgw.com or streaming on KGW+.
Okay, let's get to some weather now because, wow, was it an absolutely gorgeous day today. What you're looking at right now is a live view from our Chehalem Skycam. Right now, though, in the Rose City, 64 degrees, sunshine as well.
That's just feel good. Meteorologist Rod Hill is here. Rod, great to see your face in the evening. All right, down to business now with both Oregon and Washington on spring break. How is the weekend looking?
Well, real quick, you're welcome for the nice day. Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, let's move on to some more. We'll get you into your Friday evening. Cherry blossoms starting to get over their peak, but look at all the people out there. I mean, they're still gorgeous. Enjoying the mall in front of the state capitol, 66 degrees. Here's the Vancouver, the Springs of the waterfront. 66 is the temperature up in Vancouver. And here's that downtown temperature of 64. Looks like the high today is going to be somewhere right around 67 when it goes into the book. And that'll be the third warmest we've been. So here's your Friday evening. Obviously all dry and cooler, but still 59 at 8 o'clock. Still 52 at 10 o'clock, dipping into the 40s. Not until we get toward about midnight, it looks like. I will give you a weekend tease. Tomorrow will be dry, but Sunday we're eyeing at least a chance of a little bit of light rain in the area. We'll have your complete forecast details coming up, guys.
Nothing wrong with the chance. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Rod.
In your headlines, Portland police arrested a man accused in a violent spree in southeast Portland earlier this month. Police say 51-year-old Anthony Richardson assaulted 2 women and fired multiple rounds at a group of people near his apartment on southeast Ash Street. This all happened March 17th. No one was hurt. Police say Richardson also threatened officers who arrested him this morning and confiscated the gun they believe he used in the shooting.
In an update tonight, police say a man who burst into a mosque and threatened worshipers did not commit a crime. This is on Wednesday in Northeast Portland, right in the middle of morning prayers. Police say after the suspect left, he went to a gym nearby and caused a disturbance there. Officers say they followed up, identified him, and offered support. While he will not face charges, they say the man has agreed to get help at a mental health facility. The mosque, in the meantime, is evaluating building access and its internal communication.
A stretch of Fairmont Boulevard in southwest Portland will likely remain closed through the summer for landslide repairs. The slide happened earlier this month between Markham Hill Road and Mount Adams Drive after heavy rain. And just this morning, another landslide blocked part of Cornell Road in the Forest Park area. It is now closed between the 2 tunnels and east of the entrance to the Bird Alliance facility. Another part of Cornell between Skyline and Thompson is still closed from a sinkhole that formed a few weeks back, forcing more detours in the area.
But this one here is like 7 feet deep and undercut the highway.
This is my route down into the city.
PBOT said it anticipates the area of today's landslide on Cornell to be open next week and the one closer to Skyline in roughly a month.
On the coast, the carcass of a gray whale has washed ashore in Florence. Experts say it was a juvenile male, about 1 to 4 years old, roughly 37 feet long. The animal appeared extremely thin and likely died at sea. Several local tribes harvested what they could in accordance with cultural practices, and what was left of the whale was buried.
Mount Hood Meadows says it's calling it early this year after what's been a really difficult ski season. The resort says its final day will be April 12th. That's earlier than usual. While crews say they've been doing all they can to get the mountain ready each and every day, there just isn't enough snow to work with. That means no pride or pond skim, though banked slalom will still happen. They could still reevaluate closing day, though. That is if they get a series of major storms and a whole lot of snow.
We'll see what happens. Well, developing tonight, Vancouver Public Schools has issued notices to nearly 300 teachers warning they could be laid off or reassigned as part of major budget cuts for next school year.
Our Devin Haskins is live outside the district office. And Devin, this is larger than what was previously announced.
Right. The initial amount of teachers receiving those reduction in force notices was said to be around 109. Well, today the district telling us that that number is much larger, around 280. But they say that it's important to note that the number of notices going out will be higher than the number of teachers that either get laid off or have their hours reduced.
Vancouver Public Schools dealing with a $24 million budget shortfall next school year. This month, the school board approved the cuts, citing higher operational costs, inflation, declining enrollment, and underfunding from the state. At first, 109 teachers were expected to not be in the same position next year, but the district now says that number is closer to 280 teachers. The district also said it was reducing some full-time staff to part-time status. And in an email to KGW, a district spokesperson wrote, "While a reduction in income for these staff members is difficult, we believe it is less harmful than a complete loss of employment and benefits. Still, when this process is complete, the total FTE reduction will match what is outlined in the board-approved resolution." The teachers union said the total number of notices exceeds the initial $24 million reduction approved by the board. Vancouver Education Association President Jamie Anderson wrote to KGW saying, "We will fight to ensure our contract is followed, that management provides clear, proactive communication throughout the remainder of this process, that our members understand their rights, and that as many of those unnecessarily notified of layoff are recalled to their positions as quickly as possible." I talked with one of the teachers that received a layoff notice. She didn't want to be identified, but said this is the second time she's received a reduction in force notice by VPS in recent years.
I was very disappointed. Myself and my colleagues put a lot of effort and energy into what we do.
For now, it's business as usual, with an unsettling feeling, not knowing what lies ahead.
So we're very confused as to why all of these extra people are now getting these RIF notices. And and it's making us all feel very unsettled.
The district told the union that those impacted are the least senior teachers, and the district also saying that, again, some of those teachers that were issued those reduction in force notices could be recalled, meaning they could be reassigned to a different position or to a different school. Back to you.
Yeah, some important context there, but a lot of uncertainty. Devin Haskins there. Thanks, Devin.